So let's take a look at who could make the playoffs and who could potentially miss the playoffs. The Rangers sit in third right now in the AL West, currently 52-55 on the season in terms of their record. Odds to make the playoffs, plus 460. Odds to miss, minus 600. Mike, what made you put money on the Rangers to make the playoffs?
The easiest remaining schedule in Major League Baseball here, Katie, and a team that is rounding into health. The pitching rotation this team will have in the final month of the season, only one guy currently pitching might be pitching in this rotation at that point. When we look at this team here, they're going to get Jacob deGrom, Tyler Mahle, and Bradford back in the rotation. We've got Max Scherzer back already. Josh Young and Evan Carter both tracking to return offensively as well. But it's really the remaining schedule here for me. You got 6 more against the A's, 7 more against the White Sox, 7 more against the Angels, 6 against a Blue Jays team that is selling here at the deadline. But this last 16 games of the season, I've got them favored 14 of 16 when all of these guys will be back. And the key race here is going to be against Seattle in that division. 7 more against Seattle. All 7 of those games happen between September 12th and September 22nd when they will have all of these guys back in the rotation. I think they're going to have the best record in Major League Baseball over the final 30 days of the season and grab one of the wild card spots in the AL.
My play is a lot more expensive at minus 190 on the Padres to make the playoffs, but I don't think it's too expensive for the way this team is looking. 7-1 in their last 8, averaging over 6 runs a game. You have Dylan Cease, who's all he's done in his last 3 starts is allow 2 hits with 30 Ks, including a no-hitter and no runs allowed. And Joe Musgrove could be coming back soon. Maybe Yu Darvish comes back soon. I really like the reliever they got. Jason Adam, that guy is lights out, has a whip below 1. I mean, all the guys, that top of the lineup is murderous, and now Bogarts is hitting too. So I just think the Padres currently in position. I don't think they're going to threaten for the division. I definitely think they'll be in the playoffs.
And I'm going to back one of the hottest teams in baseball, and that's the Arizona Diamondbacks to make the playoffs. You can get this close to even money. I've been touting this for the last month or so, but the Diamondbacks are playing great baseball. 7-3 over their last 10 games. They are getting healthy. They've got an MVP caliber player at the top of that very potent offense in Ketel Marte, who has really been phenomenal. Christian Walker playing great baseball as well. The pitching staff is getting healthier. Merrill Kelly is set to return over the next couple of weeks. They'll really stabilize that starting rotation. You've got Zach Gallen, who's been struggling a little bit, but I expect him to turn things around. I love the Diamondbacks makeup. Obviously, last year made the wild card, took it all the way to the World Series. This team has a lot of experience, and I look at the Braves and the Mets atop of them, just a half game, and I don't see them potentially hanging on here. I think the Diamondbacks really are set up to make the playoffs. I love that we're getting close to even money here as well, Katie.
Yeah, last year they broke that playoff drought. Hadn't been there since 2017, and like you said, had a great run there. Let's take this one step further and talk about who's going to win the whole shebang. Who's going to win the World Series this year? Dodgers, no big surprise here, are the betting favorite, plus 310, followed by the Phillies at plus 470. You know, Philadelphia, they got 2 World Series titles under their belt, 1980, 2008. But Alex, you think they're going to add 2024 to their organization. What do you think?
Katie, I need everyone to ignore the Philadelphia memorabilia that's above my shoulder here. Because I assure you, this is a pick that I would make even if I was not a Phillies fan. I just think this Phillies team, top to bottom, has the best roster in Major League Baseball, the most balanced. We look at this pitching staff. They've been absolutely tremendous. The lineup 1 through 9 is great. Bryce Harper is a perennial MVP candidate. Trey Turner is absolutely exceptional. Love the addition of Austin Hayes to the lineup. I just think this Phillies team, top to bottom, the roster is so strong. They have the experience. They've been waiting to break through. I'm going to go with the Phillies to win the World Series.
And I don't run a Phillies fan site like Alex does, but I'm also on the Phillies because, I mean, you have 4 aces, 4 number 1 pitchers. Nola has a 3.44 ERA, and that's the worst of the big 4 starters. I love getting Estevez in the bullpen, 20 saves so far. And this lineup, top to bottom, all that power. Bryce Harper said it. Superstars got to show up. They're 3-8 in their last 11. I think they've lost a little bit of focus, but they still have the best record in baseball. And if they can get that home field advantage. We know how tough they are at home. 28-13 in the postseason at that ballpark. They've been knocking on the door the last couple of years. I think they break it through this year.
And I love the Phillies as well here, everybody. I think they're the best team in the NL, but I think they will lose to the AL champion, which will be the New York Yankees. I'm looking at a Yankees-Phillies World Series, which would be amazing as a fan to get to see that and potentially travel to it. But I love the Yankees here. I am still a believer. They had a really rough patch for about a month and a half, and they are still right there in terms of the standings. I think they're going to win this division. I love the team when they are healthy. Aaron Judge, the key piece here, has maintained his health, which has been phenomenal. Giancarlo Stanton, welcome back to the lineup yesterday. You've got Juan Soto, who I think is going to be phenomenal for them in a playoff type atmosphere. And then just bringing in a guy like Jazz Chisholm, I think there's a lot of upside for this Yankees team. And frankly, you see those big hitters in the NL. I think in the AL, it's the Yankees and a team like the Orioles, who they're very familiar with in division. So give me the Yankees here, plus 600.
Yeah, Mike, it's so crazy to think about. Just a couple weeks ago, people thought that the Yankees were potentially going to miss the playoffs, and how things have changed. And I'll tell you what, that New York fan base is not afraid to boo their stars or their team. So it's good for everybody in New York that they're starting to play a little bit better. Let's shift our gaze now over to the player futures market. Looking at some season awards for these players. Mike and Larry, you're both locked into the AL Cy Young Award winner, but different players. Larry, you went a little chalkier on this one, so we'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, we're less than 5 hours from the trade deadline as we sit here, and Tarek Skubal, I don't think is going to get moved. Obviously, if he gets traded to the National League, this bet is toast. But he is, they said they need to be blown away, and so far there hasn't been a deal that has even made them consider it. The Tigers still have him under control through 2026, and he leads every major category right now, just ahead of Corbin Burnes, who I know has been great as well, and I know has already won a Cy Young. But Corbin Burnes has given up 3 runs in 2 of his last 3 starts, and Skubal has just dominated. He's top 3 or top 5 in every meaningful category. So I think he stays with Detroit, and he takes home the hardware.
I think it's very clear between these two guys, right? I think the price point, honestly, should be right around even money. I think everyone else should be removed from the market. It is clearly these two players, right? So when I look at the situation, though, with Skubal, there is certainly a chance that he gets moved. I am with Larry in that. I think it's more unlikely at this point because of all the team control and the package that would be required. But what I wonder is, do they give more credit to someone that's going to be pitching more meaningful games down the stretch? You look at where Baltimore is in the standings, always in a tough division in the AL East, certainly competing with the Yankees. I personally think that they're going to give a little more credit to some of those starts that are more meaningful down the stretch. You also mentioned the team control that Skubal has. I would be very interested to see if they actually limit his innings down the final stretch of the season a bit, putting these two a lot closer. So mostly just a price point play, as I think it should be a lot closer to even money. I'll take Burnes here to be one of the few individuals to win a Cy Young in both leagues.
And I'm going to stick in the American League, guys, but I'm going to look at the Rookie of the Year market. I'm going to go with the Yankee starter, Luis Gil. Absolutely love the price point around plus 240 here for Gil, who's frankly been the Yankees' best starter, an 11-5 record, 3.2 ERA, 1.1 WHIP. He's averaging over 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. He's really been phenomenal. He's been a little shaky down the stretch, but if you look at the body of work, he's certainly having a very good season for anyone, especially for a rookie. Then if we look at the competition, I just don't see Colton Cowser, Wyatt Langford, who have been solid, not spectacular, not having all-star caliber seasons the way that Luis Gil. I think if he sticks in the Yankees rotation, there are some rumors that he may become a reliever down the stretch to prevent him from having a heavy workload, a high leverage reliever, but I still think he's going to remain in the starting rotation because of how good he's been, and I think he ultimately wins this award. Love that we're getting plus 250 on it as well.
It's been really exciting to watch him, too, in his first full season, right, since having that Tommy John surgery in 2022. Hot start, fellas. Sharp plays from our sharp guys. And if you like what you see here, do yourself a favor, and I'm going to help you out here. Sign up at sportsline.com/join, or you can scan the QR code on your screen, and I'm going to give you 60% off with the promo code Moxie.